This is probably one of the most important videos I'll ever make. And we're going to talk about what sin actually is. Because sin is not primarily disobedience, it's not rebellion, and it's not breaking rules. Sin begins long before behavior ever shows up. Sin is what happens when we stop seeing the Father for who He truly is. In the garden, Adam and Eve didn't fall because they wanted to rebel. They fell because they believed a lie. And the lie wasn't, you should eat this fruit. The lie was, God is not for you. God is withholding from you. God cannot be trusted. And the moment that lie was believed, everything changed. Fear entered and shame followed. And the very next thing they did was sow fig leaves. And the fig leaves are self-protection. Fig leaves are what you reach for when you think love is conditional, when you think acceptance must be earned, when you think you must hide to survive. That's what sin actually is. Sin is living from a distorted image of God. And when God is distorted, you'll always distort yourself. That's why sin produces striving. That's why it produces control. That's why it produces addiction and comparison and pride and despair. Not because people are evil, but it's because they're afraid. But God never joined them in the fig leaves. He comes into the garden looking for them, not angry, not withdrawn, not distant. And He says, "Where are you?" Not because He doesn't know, but because they no longer know where they are. And instead of demanding better behavior, God covers them, not with fig leaves, but with skins. And that's a picture of this. You cannot heal shame with effort, and you can't heal fear with law, and you can't overcome sin by trying. You overcome sin by seeing the Father clearly again. That's why Jesus didn't come primarily to stop people from sinning. He came to reveal the Father, who the Father truly is. He said, "He who has seen me has seen the Father." Because when the Father is revealed, the fig leaves fall off. Sin doesn't disappear because you're threatened. It disappears because you're no longer afraid. That's why the gospel is not stop sinning or else. The gospel is come home. You were never abandoned, and you don't have to hide anymore.